Hello everyone and welcome back to Humble Heart Horsemanship. It has been such an incredibly long time since I have spoken to any of you, and so many things have happened from the last time I posted a video to right now. It is October 15th and we have been blessed with the most wonderful weather here in northeastern Wyoming. This time last year we actually had a really big blizzard, and over there in the horses' old dry lot we had a massive snowdrift that prevented the horses from being able to access the fence line. So it's 60 degrees right now and I could not be happier. The weather that we have right now is pretty rare for mid-October, but I'm taking advantage of it, and you guys are going to spend some time with me today actually cleaning the lower barn right here and just getting it all prepped for winter. But first, I need to fill you in on some really important things that have happened over the past few months. For those of you who have watched my channel, you would know that I have Gemini and I had Gunner. And I say had because Gunner is no longer with us anymore. Gunner was my... I'm gonna cry because it's really hard for me to talk about this still, even though it's been months ago. Gunner was my beautiful 21-year-old paint horse gelding, and he was my heart horse. He was basically one of the first horses I ever was a part of their rescue and who I rescued. And he was such an incredible friend to me and a partner for so many years. I feel like I have so much gratitude for our journey together and everything that he taught me. When I rescued Gunner, I was at a time in my equestrian journey where I was really lacking self-confidence because I had a mare who had a severe bolting problem, and that left my overall confidence in a really unstable place. And for the first time in my life, I felt nervous and scared around horses, which was something I honestly had never really felt before. I got Gunner after I had rehomed that mare with a trainer. He just provided me with so much peace because he was such an incredibly wise and confident horse, and I felt like I could really do anything on him. We did so many trails together. We did solo trails out in Central Oregon. We did arena work. We just did all of the things. I cantered on him bareback for the first time, and I had Gunner for almost 5 years. Gunner, when I first rescued him, he was underweight, very underweight. He also had laminitis, his hooves were overgrown, and I also knew that he had ring bone in his front legs. If you don't know what ring bone is, it is a degenerative condition, so it gets worse over time, and you can kind of think of it like bone spurs or bone growth on the horse's pastern joint. And I knew that Gunner had this, and I knew that it would probably get worse over time, and sure enough, despite everything I could do working with various vets, Gunner had to be retired from being ridden when he was only 19. And so he was then a pasture pet, if you will, but really he felt like a piece of my heart. And this happened in May. It is October now, and a part of me did not want to make this video because it's hard for me to talk about still, and I really miss him a lot of the time. And basically, okay, give me a second here. I'm gonna just pause this for a second. Basically, I noticed that Gunner's ring bone was getting worse, and he wasn't just lame at a trot and a canter anymore, but he was also lame just walking. And here in northeastern Wyoming, our winters are very harsh. Last winter was one of the worst winters we have had in decades, and it got to -20 for several nights in a row, and it was a very brutal winter. Obviously, horses and people who have arthritis or bone spurs, joint conditions or problems, it can be really painful to live in a place where the winters are so harsh and cold. In the spring, I noticed that Gunner was laying down more, that he didn't have that regular gleam or sparkle in his eye. And I could just tell that he was not comfortable, and he was lame, really lame at a walk. So I had my vet out like the year prior, and we did x-rays, and we learned that one of his pastern joints actually fused together just by itself naturally. The other one had not, and there was significant bone growth. So skip to last May. I spent a lot of time talking with my vet and figuring out, what would be the best option for him. And there was one other option of what we could have done to help him, but that, to be honest, did not feel very ethical to me, and I know my horse better than anyone else. And so it was time for Gunner to pass the Rainbow Bridge and move on. And it was the hardest decision I'd ever made in my life, and it was like, it still feels really hard, but it was the hardest thing I've ever experienced in my life, because for those of you who own horses, or even if you just work around horses, you know that they become a part of your heart. And when I said goodbye to Gunner, it felt almost like a piece of my heart was like dying off, but also a part of me felt a sense of relief in knowing that he wouldn't be in any more pain. It was really hard for him to see him be so lame at a walk. And so my vet and I decided, it would be time for him to pass on and cross the Rainbow Bridge. So Gunner was euthanized here at our ranch, surrounded by me, my mom, my sister, and even my little niece Nora, she's a baby, so my sister had her in a little wrap. And my vet came out, and it was a very beautiful, like, transitioning him into like the spiritual world. I don't know if any of you are spiritual or believe in that, but it was as peaceful as it could have been. And when I first purchased Gunner, I told myself when I got him that I was going to be his last owner, because he had been just moved around to so many different owners and people who didn't really care about his well-being. And I promised him that I would be his last owner, and that I would be with him to the end. And that was what happened. So I'm sorry if this is like a lot of emotions, but it was a super hard time for me, and I can tell you that I felt certainly relieved when he was gone, which sounds weird, but when you have a horse that's in pain and they're no longer in pain, you feel relieved. And then I also was grieving, and still am grieving, having not him physically here. So that is what happened with Gunner. You also should know that Gunner was surrounded by so much love and everything he could ever really want. The few days prior to his passing, he got all the treats, all the alfalfa, all the green grass that he wanted, all the grooming, and I really told him how much he meant to me, and I had such great quality time and closure. I was so blessed to have that, because I know that so many horse owners, especially if their horses pass very, very suddenly from an accident or colic or something, they don't have that closure of being able to hug your horse and say goodbye. So that I feel incredibly blessed for, and I just feel so blessed that I had a horse that was my heart horse. It still feels weird, but I feel his presence in spirit, and some really beautiful things have happened that have shown me that he's still watching over me, and that his energy is still around us here at the ranch. I'll share those things in another video, because they're kind of long. But that is basically what happened with Gunner. So now I only have one horse, as well as my Borders horse Slide. But yeah, I wanted to update you guys on that, and just let you know that's why you're not seeing Gunner physically here on our ranch anymore. I've been really blessed to be able to spend a lot of time, especially under saddle, with Gemini, and just kind of going through the waters, the motions, or whatever you want to call it, without having Gunner here. So that's what has been going on. That's the big update, okay? There's some other things I want to talk about too. All right, so now that we have gone through that and you guys are updated on what has happened in the past, we're going to talk about the direction that Humble Heart Horsemanship is heading towards. So this channel has always been about horse care, horse management, ranch life, natural horsemanship, but I'm going to be taking it a little bit further, and we are going to jump into the world of horse rescue, rehab, and rehoming. This is something that I have felt personally called to do since I was a little girl, and I feel so even more now. I have worked at barns and I have been a volunteer where their focus was to rescue, rehab, and rehome horses into incredible, trustworthy homes. And witnessing that and being a part of it, and also having rescued my own horses, it is something that ignites a fire in my soul and truly fills me with so much joy as well as purpose. I believe that every single horse has a unique, special soul, and that all of them deserve to be respected, loved, cared for, and have a successful basic foundation put on them so they can live a really happy, content, successful life. Every single animal deserves that in general, but for me personally, I am really passionate about that when it comes to equines. I also believe that if you feel like you're being personally called to do something spiritually, that is really important to see to it, because there's so much that can lie in the journey of following what your soul's purpose is. And although right now I do not have like all of the resources set up for me to successfully rescue, rehab, and rehome a horse, I want to put the energy out there and I want to get excited about it, and I want to share with you guys the process of me heading towards that direction. And I'm just genuinely so excited about this. I've also spent the last 15 years of my life taking riding lessons, going to clinics, taking equine-related courses, volunteering with horses, working in the equine industry, and just countless hours spent on the ground and under saddle with horses. And I feel like I have so much potential and so much passion and a lot of drive to do this that I can't not do this, if that makes sense. So I am really, really excited about heading towards that direction and really just putting the energy out there to go that way. So I hope that you guys are also excited and interested about kind of that aspect of where this channel will be heading towards. There's so many incredible people in the world in general who do this kind of work, but also there's a ton here on YouTube that take the time to carefully document their journey with rescuing and rehabbing horses, and it's really inspiring. So I'm really, really excited. I get the chills, and I'm really pumped. So I hope that you guys are looking forward to that as well. As I was talking, I reached down and touched my arm, and then I just realized that I have 2 new tattoos I want to show you guys. My mom and I actually went to a Friday the 13th flash tattoo event in our local town, and it was so fun, and I ended up getting 2 flash tattoos that I really love, and I want to show them to you. Okay, so we have this adorable little kitty cat, little mystical cartoon adorableness of a kitty, and I have a cat named London, and so this little flash kitty really reminds me of my cat London. I just love it so much. I love the eyes. I love the size. I'm trying to finish my right forearm as like a sleeve by adding a lot of different little pieces. And so I was really happy to get these 2. And then this one right there is the zodiac sign of Gemini with some beautiful little leaves, little shrubbery. And I'm a Gemini, true and true. And as I get older, I feel like I am embracing more of my Gemini. So I was really stoked to get these 2. And now we have some more tattoos. So I just wanted to show you that real fast.